to the channel. It's not a theme tune that I'm suggesting, but it was just the first thing that came to my mind. But welcome to the Imagineers channel. This is the series of Florida 93 vlog. It wasn't a vlog to begin with because it had no narrative whatsoever. It was just capturing the moment as it happened, documenting a Florida holiday from the 1990s. If you've tuned into all of the series so far, you will know one of a few things, which is one, what you see on screen can be slightly dull. The other thing was that the quality is a bit naff. I've done my absolute best with it. It's the 1990s and really, really embarrassing at times. Certainly watching me, the cringe factor is unbearable at parts, but it's got to be done. We've got to show the thing. And the other thing is as well is that we are showing in segments days 1 and 2, then 3, then 4, and we're just about to start day 5, which was a trip to Epcot, if memory serves. I'm going to click play, and I'm going to go down to the bottom. That is where we'll be. What will be. I don't know if this is going to be Epcot. Well, that's that answer, isn't it? I was just thinking to myself, I don't recall this being. Now the interesting thing is, of course, here is none of those those plaques outside. That was before any of that was even a thought, even an idea. So what were we waiting for? Do you think? Just sit here. I'll capture you on this. Oh, there's a person. Just a moment in time. This is obviously Spaceship Earth. I do remember that there was a ride in there. Don't know what happened on it. There are some key rides to Epcot, which I can't remember whatsoever. One, racetrack, time speed track, or whatever it's called. 2, I don't remember at all. Sorry, I've lost what I was going to say. I'm sorry. My mind's done. Yeah, the other thing that I was going to say was I don't recall. So I don't remember time track. What the hell was I going to say? I don't remember time track and a racetrack, and I don't remember soaring. No, not a clue. So whether they were there or not in '93, you'll have to do some background research. Let me know. Write it in the comments. So where are we? So we're on the Festival of Ages, or I don't know what it's called. Just World Showcase. That's what it is. Not so much of an expert on these, so guessing that one there could have been Morocco. I don't know. Actually, part of me recalls a trip. This is me. Can you hear that? Two things happened there. One, Shelley lost her glasses and then realised too late. But the other thing was me knowing exactly where the camera was, knowing that that was my chance to be on camera. It's just awful. It's just awful to watch. Like, it really is. It's just a 16-year-old being an idiot with no concept of what was right or wrong. You know, just thinking that that's what you needed to do. Just unbearable. This might be the reason why I blocked all of this out. Might be the reason why I have no idea. This was fantastic in here because I do recall when you're inside, your eyes adjust so you can see the fact that there's a ceiling. But I remember watching this back on camera going, that looks like we're actually outside at night time. Brilliant. What a great illusion. This is Mexico, right? So this is that ride. I don't know if this has changed any. I've not seen this on anybody's vlogs. I've not seen. Oh well, that was ended abruptly there. Didn't last very long. I had some dinner here, I think. Oh, the fireworks are about to. Oh, that World Showcase kind of laser show, whatever that was. So it was like, oh, okay, well, let's get some Chinese or Japanese. We ate there. Whether this was that time, I don't know. I do recall that was a thing. I'm assuming that we won't be seeing that because we've not seen eating at all, have we? So far, I don't think so. The weather doesn't look so sunny, does it? What's this? Wonders of China. I like those VHS lines. Sometimes I've often wanted to recreate those lines. I hope I become just a bit more okay with being on camera. See, I can't see me. I can't see me without thinking you're an idiot. If I'd just acted a little bit more sincere and honest. Being carefully considered about things is another thing, but I wasn't. It was just, that's how I thought you were meant to be. Wrong. So it's fascinating because at the same time as this, we would have had a fish pond with some big fish in it. So this would have been of interest to me. A big koi. I just wish I could be a bit more gracious about my time here, because I think I did have opportunity on camera to be somebody else, to be that person that I thought I was going to be, but actually I failed miserably. Again, nobody saw this, so nobody was judging, and I probably knew that. I was like, oh, this is just for me. This is just so I can show my kids, which I haven't. I mean, well, Charlie has seen what you've seen, but eventually he'll see all this. That wasn't so bad, was it? That little pass. Let me tell you something about me as a 16-year-old that you're seeing here. Is my future was going to be in art. The future was going to be in art and design and creating and maybe film. And I'd actually got a place. This is later on that year. I got a place at Farnham University where I was going to be an animator, study as Surrey. So all of that was going to plan. And then I got into a massive accident. I was beaten up, and it scared the life out of me. I couldn't trust anybody. I daren't step outside the house. So it ruined the want to explore the world, to explore my possibility, to explore the future. And I just stayed inside and kind of concentrated on it. So actually, that's the reason why most of this has been blocked out, because I was right here, I was very confident that something was going to happen, and then, nah, it was never going to happen. So maybe what you see here is somebody who was just at the peak of confidence and had no concept of it, and I needed it to be suppressed in some way. Tell you what I do like is the fact that you can actually see it here now. There's a little bit of wind in the air. Remember it being so hot. That's all my memory is of Florida, is that it's a hot place. So this is a nice touch that it's actually, it wasn't, I mean, you got people in jeans, they were in shorts all the time. I think there was one day where we didn't. That's where Frozen Ride is now. That was a ride called Maelstrom, whatever, however you, and you go in there, the ride track is the same, but the actual, is it that? I mean, it reminds me of that. We definitely went on it. You go around Norway, I'm sure of it. You see these oil tankers in the sea and stuff like that. Maelstrom. I've seen a lot of vloggers' videos, a lot, an unhealthy amount, you would say, and I don't recall these angles, so I can't quite work out where this is. The lake here? Is the lake behind us, or is this part of American Adventure? Wasn't there something inside here as well that we did? I can't remember. Let's see, we're going to go and find out what happened. Or maybe we won't. So this must be Japan. That was China, this must be the Japan bit. Is that right? Is the... Let's have a look. Give me a sec. Let's have a look. Again, just this. What this is I printed out the guide. It's part of preparation. World Showcase. Japan. And China, yeah, so they have both. So you often worry about getting the cultures mixed up. Ah! Great! So this is that point I was saying, I think, in the last vlog, which is that the 3-day pass will allow you to go everywhere, like it does now, you know, but we made use of it. It was like, oh, we've done enough here, let's go back out there again tomorrow, but right now we'll go back out to Magic Kingdom and see the fireworks. And these were actual fireworks. It wasn't a projection onto the castle. You'd find a spot and then you'd look up into the sky. So it didn't matter where you were stood. In my eyes, that's a bit better than looking straight forward, because you've got to get your view and everything like that. I remember we were in Paris and we had a good view until about 30 people just went and we couldn't see a thing. So you just kind of like stand back and like doing all this sort of stuff. On this occasion, there's Silver, we're all sat down waiting for the fireworks, but what you would do is just look up into the air. And of course I've got it all... I thought it was the fireworks. Maybe the fireworks come after this. Right, okay, in which case, like we said earlier about the parades, these things go on quite a bit. So if you want to get to the end of this, I mean, it's obviously it's a moment in history. But if you do want to get to the end of this, there is your time check, and you can skip to that, and it'll give you a book. Oh my word! Does it get scarier than that? I think not. So again, this would have had a name, like, you know, I've heard people say, "Oh, wishes," and happily ever after, or happily whatever it is. But this would have had a name, I assume. Yeah, and whilst... Sounds all weird, isn't it? Whilst we're waiting for... if you want to skip, that's fine, by the way. But whilst we're waiting for this to end, and I don't know how much of this is recorded, but I'll offer various narration, but not a massive amount, okay? So don't worry about it. It's okay. I do know that besides the firework and the parade and stuff, that there wasn't all the big themed kind of theatre spectaculars. So that one where they do it at the Halloween time, where everybody does, like, all the baddies do that. There were none of that. There was just the one at night, you know, just the general one at night. Does that tell you what this is? Disney World Presents. Ah, man, I missed it. Come on. Something magic. Spicting magic? Is that a word? Spicting magic? I can't can't work out what that could have been, and I've obviously got it wrong, but I can't quite work out how. It didn't say something magic. No, it was no. If you worked it out, stick it in comments for us. This was October, so it gets night time earlier. I wonder if that has some bearing on what we got to see. Because goodness knows what time this would have been. Maybe it was only like 7 o'clock, 7:30. Doesn't feel like it would have been that late, right? I wonder if the Disney experts out there, whether you're Disney experts because of what you like now, or whether you are interested in the nostalgia. I don't know if I'm talking to myself, but I mean, this interests me from a personal point of view. Roger Rabbit again. This interests me from a personal point of view, but whether it interests you guys from this is what it once was, or whether you just think, right, this is what it used to be like, thank God it's not like that anymore. I know. Let me know what you think, because I still can't quite gauge whether this is something that's worth... See, I'll see it through, of course, because that's what I'm like, but I don't want to assume that this is everybody's interested in. By the way, if you hadn't already figured this out, I'm recording these when I can, so I haven't based what I'm saying right now on view count or anything like that. If, let's say, for example, that this all of a sudden went nuts and it had 38,000 views and 1 million likes, I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, let's say that's happened. I won't know about that right now, so I might be playing it down a bit. So it was a music-inspired thing then. Notice everything that's just happened has been music. It was a metronome to begin and all that. Mickey was conducting. So, did that have something to do with that? What it was called? Something magic. Is that a peacock? I think that might be a peacock, guys. You know, we were here, this was only 6 days before Halloween, or so, 7 days before Halloween, and although you had Halloween decorations and stuff like that, I don't recall a single pumpkin. There was absolutely, definitely no, oh, it's Halloween, so let's introduce the horror element to any theme park. Definitely not. That is something of more recent times, or maybe a year after this, I don't know. But definitely not. This would have been what you see at Halloween. Absolutely. This would have been at Halloween. No, this would have been perfect Halloween. But it's interesting because I've obviously thought, well, what should we do? Well, we could do a music-based thing, and nobody went, well, it's Halloween, why don't we do a Halloween one? Or maybe they did and they thought, no, we can't have Halloween in Disney. What is that? What is the history of that? Because that would have been perfect for Universal, which I don't remember that even. But that would have been perfect for Universal. But did they then go, with Disney I mean, did they go, Universal are doing it and they've actually done quite a good job. We could do like a kids version of Halloween? Because that's big news right now. Well, I don't know, whatever. I mean, that's what I'm saying a lot, isn't it? I just don't know. I genuinely don't know. Under the sea. So this is the thing, this is what I'm saying, is that we've just got some big fish, let's light them up. Does that work? Does that work as a thing? Oh, it does when they get smaller. Right, my mistake. Yeah. Totally into that now. The lights are making it look like the fins are flapping. That is brilliant. That can't be the end. Oh, here we go. Ursula. Good. I love this, whatever this vehicle is. Now, who's controlling that then? Because her arms are up there.
Hello, handsome. Wouldn't you like to be my friend? I'm starting a collection.
That's clever. That was nice that we got that on video there, wasn't it? Oh, look at the water circles. What do you call them? That's brilliant. So is this Ariel? And Flounder. Ah, I see him. Was Sebastian on there, or was that the next float? Oh, here he is. Right. I love that, where the water's kind of like going... Because you totally feel like you're in the sea. I've got a sneeze, by the way. It sneezes. I'm trying to shift it. What's that? What's going on there? I missed something there. This is the sort of thing where if this was done now, you'd have had a few other people. So I'm thinking, was Beauty and the Beast somewhere? I've got my phone. I've lost it somewhere. Oh, I'm recording. I was just going to do an IMDb on Little Mermaid, thinking maybe that was the film of the time. I feel 93. That feels like a bit late though. But maybe it was. I don't know. Now, these guys are from Fantasia, and I know that was re-released in 2000. So, about 10 years before, that would have been big news. So Fantasia would have been a very current thing. Or I don't know actually, Fantasia is kind of like the pinnacle of Disney, isn't it? So maybe it was always there. Can we be frank? Are we alright to just be frank? What's actually happening here then? Because I think the ones of now is that there's a story being told as you go along. But actually this is just a little segment of something, a little scene each. I suppose that's what it is, isn't it? Each float is a different scene. Whereas now, with people, the interaction and stuff like that, it's all part of the bigger story. Yeah. Okay, I've answered my own question. You don't need to worry. What are these? Horses? Flying horses. Flying horses. Pegasus type horses. Oh, I've just noticed the clouds. They've got smoke coming out of the clouds. Like you're actually in the clouds. I'm going to move forward a little bit. Brilliant. See his cape? Kind of folds like that. See, it's open from both sides and then it shuts from both sides. So everybody gets to see it from both angles. That is superb. Very clever. Of course, an idea would have been to have it at the front, just doing that. No, put it on the sides, increase that visibility. Does his eyes light up? Of course they do. Look at that, that's brilliant. That's wonderful. It was like the Disney version of that. You don't. There's always evil in Disney. You only ever remember the good. But the way that evil is presented, Snow White, for example, this, and basically any villain, it's so brilliantly done. You despise that person. There's not many places that make filmmakers that can make you genuinely scared, not fear, but and scare, but just can't. I hate you. I'm not on your side at all. Disney know how to do that. And Disney did. Disney still do. What's going on here? Big Bad Wolf? Pigs. Ooh. So this wasn't necessarily linked extricably to Disney. Now, of course, I've said extricably there, and I've spent the next few moments just thinking, is that a thing? Inextricably. That's what, of course, I meant. Cinderella there and everything. The lighting is so clever. You've got to wonder how many lights are on here. Nice. That was good. Poppins. Lovely. Little umbrella though, isn't it? That's not going to stop a rainstorm, is it? And she's probably better in the wind. Again, the sound's just a bit dodge. Peter Pan. And then there's Hook. Can't really... Is that Smee? Yeah, you can't really see everything on here, can you? I mean, you eventually get to see it, but... Oh, hang on. Well, that's a witch. Which witch is that? Is that from the Sleeping Beauty? Maleficent. Pinocchio. Was that story of Geppetto there? Story of Pinocchio, where they go off to that island and they can just do what they want. It used to fascinate me. So I sort of wanted to go to that island. And there we go. Was it Donald, Minnie on the one side? Was it Jiminy Cricket? I didn't quite catch it, but it would have been good if that was Jiminy Cricket. And that's it. So what happens now? What happens now, indeed? The video could have just... Right. So what I'm saying, this was how the nights ended. None of the broadcast onto the castle. This is how they did it. Just insane firework display at the end of each night. So it didn't matter where you were. I know they do fireworks now, by the way. I'm not taking it away. What I'm saying is it was just this. No projection. Just a firework display. Now, in Epcot, of course, they had the thing on the lake. There was another one as well. Or was that just it? Whatever it was, there was essentially just, like the ending of the night would end like this. And you wouldn't have to worry about finding a seat. I sort of remember where we were stood for this. The castle, right, where that is there, the castle would have been on that side. I sort of like remember thinking, I don't know if we've recorded all of this, but this was a super long display, and they must do this every night. And how much does that cost? That's what the 16-year-old me was thinking. Okay, so I'll offer the same as before. If you wanted to get to the end of the fireworks, because you've seen one firework, you've seen them all, except these are pretty good. There is your time check to skip. I don't know what happens after that. Maybe that's just the end of the video, I don't know. In which case, I'll just say it's the end of the video. It's on a foggy night. the intention of some of the fireworks. You're not going to get to see them. And then now, as I've just said that, I'm thinking there is no story here. Like, at least with the ones now, there is a bit of that goes off to a musical beat or a scene in a thing. There was none of that, of course. Also, as well, actually worth pointing out, it doesn't sound. I mean, it sounds obvious. I shouldn't need to mention it, but it sounds obvious. Is that it? Nope. It keeps on going. Marvel wasn't part of Disney back then. Star Wars wasn't part of Disney back then. Disney was very just Disney. Pixar, no. It's just Disney and the Disney Channel. Those two things. So you had some animation, and you had some live action, and you had the theme parks. That was really it. So everything that you see here is just, we're just making a scene. They didn't need to tell a story because they've done all of it. Now I think there is a need to tell a story, to continue what's on the screen and on the big image, the big picture. Just keeps going on, doesn't it? Keeps going on. How long's left? Well, what I can tell, I can't tell you how long's left actually, but what I can tell you is that in the whole show, that was a gun. What I can tell you is that it's now, we're approaching the 2-hour mark of the footage with, of course, with edits at the moment. I've just included those and the ones that I've already done. Okay, welcome back. If you skipped that, this is just a final nighttime shot of the castle. It's very cool, right, doesn't it? It's just saying goodbye to the castle, folks. It's very, very cool. I've got a suspicion, I could be wrong, that we didn't go back to Magic Kingdom. This was our second time, and I have a suspicion that was it. I'd like to be proven wrong. What's going on here then? Right. Okay. I've stopped it there because now that video shows we're in a different day and we're back at Epcot. This is obviously, we did half of what we were doing earlier that day, went out to Magic Kingdom with the idea that on day 6, which is the next vlog, we'll come back round and finish off Epcot. So that's what we'll do. We'll stop talking here, or I'll stop talking. You can stop mumbling between yourselves and go out and make a cup of tea. If you haven't seen all the other ones, I haven't been telling a story, but a lot of what I've said will make sense in this. I'm just very tired. The other thing to mention is that come back, because there's more to go. We have, obviously, finish off all the Disney stuff. Then we head out to Universal. You're not going to want to miss that, because that footage contains the greatest, if not greatest, 2 rides that have ever graced the earth that sadly no longer exist: Jaws and Confrontation. And what else happens? Well, I suppose you're just going to have to wait and see. Ta-ra for now, shipmates!